here in this body, we're going to praise the Lord. So that's how I encourage.
Say that a little louder. Say that again. The people in the back.
Well, the people in the back, you have to speak to that illness. Speak to that illness.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Overcoming Illness. I apologize, I haven't been on. I had some technical difficulties, but we are back. And I'm really excited. We have a great guest tonight. I'm Paula Denoncourt, your host, founder, and CEO of Enrich Your Health. I myself suffered from multiple food allergies, so I decided to do this show because many people out there need your stories. They need our stories, what we did to get ourselves to get better, to help ourselves. So I do one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching. I've done speaking engagements and now my own TV show, which I absolutely love. So I need you. I need guests for my show. So if you're a doctor, a nurse, it could be an apostle, a pastor, or a person going through an illness. I've had guests that have gone through cancer, congestive heart failure, Lyme disease, autoimmune. We've talked about mold toxicity. So please, you can always go back and watch these replays on YouTube, on Elevation TV Network. And make sure you give them some love, subscribe to their channel, like their videos. They have other amazing guests besides my show. And then you can also go to my YouTube channel, Enrich Your Health. So with that, I am really, really excited for my guest tonight, Angie Carr. She's also a health coach and so much more. So let me tell you a little bit about her. Angie is known as Food Goddess 50. She's well known on social media platforms as Food Goddess 50 and specifically TikTok. So I am so excited to have found her, which my friend, I have to thank Mark for introducing me to you. She was a nurse for over 20 years. And I will say, my mom always said, nurses are angels, and I would absolutely say she's right. She was sick for over 30 years with chronic health conditions, including 5 autoimmune diseases. She's been healing herself naturally for the past 5 years. She got off most of her medications except for one. She's learned a lot on her healing journey and now has a business called foodgoddess50.com. She teaches others how to heal naturally and recover from chronic health conditions. She represents several wellness companies on her website, and I have to say, you do have to check it out because she's got some amazing products on there. I know what some of them are and what they do. They are amazing. She goes live daily on TikTok and has developed a high following on there and other social platforms. She wants to help educate and spread the truth on how to get our health back. To see her full story, you can go on foodgoddess50.com. And of course, she's going to tell a little bit about it tonight here on the show. And then it says you can also go on the video and see her interview with Dr. Peter Glidden. So you definitely want to check that out later. I do want to put out a full disclosure. Anything on the show tonight or any other show for that matter, this is not medical advice, not meant to heal, treat, or cure any illness with any advice given tonight. This is for educational purposes only. These are my experiences and Angie's experiences with different products, with different things we've done to help ourselves. Please check with your doctor. So I see some people popping on, so I want to say welcome. I don't know where in the world you are, but please, you can comment at any time if you have a question or anything. We'll try to address it. I don't know who's on. I can't see unless you make a comment. So say hello from wherever you are. Welcome for your morning, night, wherever you are. I am in North Carolina, so it is getting a little bit darker because it's Eastern time. So welcome, Angie. So glad to have you tonight.
Thank you so much, Paula. I so much appreciate it. I'm super excited. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here because I think people really need to hear your story. and how they too might be going through something similar, and how, some things you've done to cope with what you've gone through and what you've done to help yourself. So let's just start by telling us a little bit about you. Where did you grow up? What, do you have brothers, sisters, mom, dad? Tell us a little background about yourself, and then a little bit about your nursing background, and then we'll go into some of the questions.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for having me again. So I'll have to say I was born in California, LA area, and then I was raised in Illinois, and then we moved to Winchester, Virginia when I started high school. Then I stayed in Virginia area, and then moved to West Virginia. That's where I currently live today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've kind of been from one coast to the next. I do have a brother. He's in Northern Virginia. And then my parents, my mom and my stepdad are in Florida. My dad is in Georgia. So kind of everywhere.
Mhm.
And I have 3 children, and I have 2 in, I guess, Pittsburgh area, Morgantown, and then my son, he's with me.
Okay.
So I was actually a flight attendant for 10 years in my 20s. Then I started having kids, so I ended that career and went back to school. Actually, went to school and became a nurse.
Wow.
So I was so I did nursing for about 20 years, and I went through lots of different kinds of practices, from urgent care to family practice, internal medicine. Um, I did a lot of different offices. OBGYN is what I kind of ended up with at the end before I left.
Mhm.
So I've got a lot of, good experience all around with all the different practices that I worked for. I learned a lot, loved my jobs as a nurse. I felt that it was good to, be there for patients and try to help them as much as I could.
Yeah.
Um, so it wasn't until my journey with trying to, help autoimmune in a different way is kind of when I wanted to leave nursing. So I
Mm.
want to mention that. So, you know, I saw things differently,
Yeah.
and so
Imagine.
so I was ready to make a different move, and so that's what happened. So, but I loved my career, and I just felt something inside me as I was healing differently than the norm, um, made me think that this wasn't for me anymore.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, and that's when I started my own business. So, in holistic,
Yeah.
so, because of my own story, which I
Right.
can share.
So
Um,
yeah. So tell us a little bit about when you first started getting sick. How old were you? Did you have kids yet? What were some of your symptoms? What was going on?
so I started as a teenager with recurrent UTIs, and it was a lot. I just felt like I was always sick with them. And then I went into my early 20s. And as you know, when you start doing lots of antibiotics, then your gut health is off and you start to have, leaky gut. And it's never really fixed because it's never really talked about. And so that kind of sets you up for autoimmune. So in my middle to late 20s is when I got my first autoimmune disease, which is hypothyroidism. I'm sorry, Hashimoto's is the autoimmune disease, and then hypothyroidism was with that, which is underactive thyroid. And I had a huge goiter in my neck, and it wouldn't stop growing. So
Oh,
by the late 20s, I had to have surgery to remove it. When they removed it, they took 3/4 of it and left a quarter of it there. And then after a year, that quarter grew another goiter. So I had to have 2 surgeries to completely remove the thyroid. Uh,
wow.
yeah. So actually, I think one of the surgeries was actually during nursing school.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah. So anyway, that escalated the whole thyroid, Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, So a few years later, I started getting interstitial cystitis, which is the bladder. So, you know, I would go in and they wouldn't give me antibiotics. They said, oh, it's autoimmune. I'm like, what? So I didn't understand that for a while. I was having pain, but did not need antibiotics. And it was because my bladder was inflamed.
Oh, wow.
So I went from thyroid to bladder to skin. I had rashes all over my body, which I was told early on it was a nickel allergy, and was blown off through rheumatology. And I couldn't figure out because I could wear jewelry and it didn't bother me. Um, I still didn't figure that out. So that's what I was told, that it was a nickel allergy. Well, then after the whole rashes happened all over the body, and I tried several medications to help with that, and nothing worked. And after that, it went into my uterus. I had adenomyosis, which is autoimmune of the uterus, and I would have uterine pain.
Ooh, I
And I
haven't
was
heard
like,
that. Wow.
why am I having, what's that?
I never heard of that one, and I've heard of a lot.
Yeah. I was like, why am I having pain down below? Like, it just went thyroid, bladder, skin, uterus. And so I started taking progesterone for that to try to get rid of the pain. And then after that, my late 40s is when I got hit with rheumatoid arthritis. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm really sick now. Like all these things were kind of like building up to something major. And I kind of figured out that, you know, we have fire set in every part of autoimmune in the body. And when we medicate, it's just suppressing the symptoms, not actually, you know, getting to the root of the problem.
Right.
So anyway, I started taking lots of, well, not lots, steroids and methotrexate for rheumatoid arthritis. I did that for 2 years and I felt like death. I felt horrible. Um, I'll never forget how bad I felt. You know, when I didn't do the injection, I felt um, pain. And then when I did the injection, I felt the flu. And that went on for 2 years and weekly injections.
Mm.
And I was desperate to find other answers at that point because I was so miserable.
Mm-hmm.
So I prayed and I said, God, if you can help heal me, I will help everybody else. And
Wow.
I believe after that was like a turning point that I started finding out things. Things were just given to me like, oh, Angie, did you know there's a functional medicine doctor in Winchester? Why don't you go see that person and see if you can get to the root of the problem? And so things just started connecting. I started, you know, kind of thinking out of the box and started researching everything.
Mm.
So, and by the way, I want to say that my rheumatologist was not on board. I I said, I want to stop. First of all, she said, let's stop methotrexate because it's killing your liver. And I said, okay. She goes, well, let's start Humira. And I said, no. And she said, why not? What are you afraid of? Cancer. And I said, yes, I don't want it because my primary care doctor told me someone was placed on Humira 2 months later had lymphoma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that scared me. And I was like, I don't want to take that.
Mm.
And so I told her I'm not taking anything. I'm going to do it my way. And she kind of was not on board with that and said that I would be disabled or die without medication. So definitely a fear thing was put in place of me, but I still felt that it was not the right thing for me anymore. So that's when I went to functional medicine and I started an elimination diet. And that's when things started turning around.
Mm-hmm.
I did it for 30 days and I ended up feeling so good that I did it for 9 months. And I just took off from there.
Right.
Um, it was amazing because I had no clue as a nurse that food was connected to disease.
Right.
And I did not even know any of that because I was not trained like that. I was trained with just medications for
Yeah.
disease. So I had no idea that food can actually change a lot in the body.
Mhm.
And then I started learning a lot on my own about acidity versus alkaline and inflammatory foods
Yep.
and inflammatory oils and high fructose corn syrup and nitrates and all these things that were
Yeah.
hurting us.
Right.
And I had no idea that that was all connected until I figured, started going to the functional medicine doctor. So I ended up kind of from there escalating and doing things on my own, eventually leaving functional medicine and doing it to, more ways, I guess, with myself, because I found out over time it started getting expensive. And I was like, okay, now it's time for me to kind of branch out and see what I can do. So
Mhm.
so that's kind of, you know, everything in a nutshell there, that it was several specialists, several medications, several injections, and nobody put the pieces together.
Yeah.
It was just treating me separately,
Mm.
and it was just um, miserable.
Yeah.
It's like a roller coaster. I would feel good one day and down the next, and that's how it was for a long time. And
Wow.
also lots of surgeries as well. I two thyroid surgeries. I had a bladder kind of procedure.
Ooh.
Um, dilating the urethra. I mean, everything you could think of. I had uterine ablation. Like, I just had a list of things that I did to help something. Looking back, I probably could have helped my thyroid in a different way,
Mhm.
instead of it being removed, because it's harder to try to recover from something if you don't have the organ
Yeah.
to do. So
Wow.
I know a lot more now than I did back then, put it that way.
Yeah. So you were sick since your 20s. That's like unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a long road. I'm 55 today, so um I know that there's a lot to contribute with the illnesses, and I think the bottom line is root causes, my opinion, is parasites, metals,
Mhm.
mold, fungus, yeast, inflammatory foods, you know, um, stress, uh,
Mhm.
trauma from the past of not dealing with things,
Yep.
um, not putting yourself first, lacking self-care,
Yep.
all these things combined, and toxin overload and not enough nutrients for your body.
Yeah.
So
You were definitely like the caregiver, I mean, stewardesses take care of,
yeah,
all the passengers. I mean, you're the go-to.
yeah,
Um, Nurses, you're the go-to, you know what I mean? You are a caregiver constantly. And then of course your own family. So yeah, that could be, part of it. Like, hey, it's time for someone to take care of me, you know?
exactly. Stretching yourself too thin, taking care of
Mhm.
everybody else but yourself. And a lot of
Yeah.
people with autoimmune, that's what happens.
Mhm.
They can't fill someone else's cup up if theirs isn't filled. So
Right.
um, I've learned plenty of lessons with that, and it's still a struggle today because having my own business, I want to save the world, but then I
Right.
got to realize I got to take care of me too. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now you have me, so we can take on the world together.
that's right. That's right. I love
Yeah.
it how we connected. I have to say
Yeah.
how we connected. I had a TikTok follower uh, told you about
Yep.
me, and then that's how we connected. And
Yep.
that's just, to me, that's God. So I
Oh,
think that's
absolutely. A lot of people say TikTok is bad, but it's just in how you use it, how you perceive it. So,
exactly.
yeah. No,
There's a
TikTok
lot of,
is kind of
yeah,
good. Yeah.
there's a lot of like-minded people on there that are
Right.
just really trying to have truth to be said
Yeah.
and to find ways to help them recover from disease. So we all kind of like stick together. It's
Yeah.
become a big family on TikTok, believe it or not. I feel very comfortable on there more than anything than any other app.
Yep.
So
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're feeling better now?
Yeah, it was like I said, it was a long road. Today speaking, I still have a few issues, not autoimmune though. Um, I've had issues with a thyroid medication causing issues in my body, so I'm trying to switch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only pill that I take now, and I have to
Wow.
since I don't have a thyroid. But it is not agreeing with my body since it's synthetic, so it's not my body is not responding in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to switch it. I think to Armor is what my plan is. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
currently trying to do for
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I feel pretty good. A few years ago, I had diverticulitis, and I corrected that so that I
Mhm.
wouldn't have that again. Ended up going to MedBed generators and then doing 3 supplements. And
Mhm.
I've not had a flare in 2 years because of it. So
Wow.
seems like a lot of things that I go through is for a reason, so I can help get over it and tell everybody else.
Right. So
So
let's back up a little bit for people listening. They might not know what diverticulitis is. Now, my mom had that,
yeah.
and she had a flare up, and she had to have surgery,
Oh yeah.
or it would have burst. So what that means is, and you're the nurse, you can give the technical terms, but I'll try to make it simple. You develop like this pocket in your intestines, and then you can't digest things. Like it kind of sits there. So they tell you not to eat things like popcorn and seeds and things that can kind of just get stuck in that pocket. And what happens is if it does get stuck in that pocket, you get all inflamed. And then you have pain, massive pain. My mother was in such pain. So that's amazing that you could cure it. I mean, when I worked in a prison for 22 years, for those who don't know me. And I was an administrative assistant, I was a dispatcher. But people that worked there, my coworkers, they had diverticulitis. And they'd have flare ups from like eating like spicy foods, like, or even just spaghetti sauce. Anything that would contribute to inflammation would aggravate it. So either popcorn or seeds or nuts
Mm-hmm.
or anything that's just hard to digest because it gets stuck in that pocket or the intestines get inflamed. So it'd be hard to digest. So that's amazing that you could heal yourself from that.
Yeah, that was probably, and I'm sorry about your mom, that was probably the worst pain of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Yeah.
I mean, and I've been through rheumatoid arthritis, shingles, childbirth.
Yeah.
There's nothing that compares to that. And I remember the pain would be so bad I couldn't talk.
Yeah.
And I went to the ER twice. The physicians in the ER, their answer was antibiotics, and if it doesn't work, surgery. So I was determined on to fixing it so I wouldn't have to do on this antibiotic cycle again, like I have my whole life
Yeah.
with other infections. And so I ended up doing aloe vera juice, papaya tablets, and grapefruit seed extract, which has kept it at bay. But you're right, it's pockets that developed in the colon,
Yep.
and food gets stuck in there and it can get infected. It causes pain and inflammation. The aloe vera juice kind of like helps heal the
Yep.
colon from inflammation,
Yep.
helps soothe it. And the grapefruit seed extract is helps so that you don't have infection in there. And then the papaya is a digestive enzyme, so it breaks down your carbs, fats, and proteins, so your body's able to digest. And what I think one of the triggers is why I got it is because of low stomach acid.
Oh,
And it's
interesting.
not really talked about stomach acid
Yeah.
anywhere. But if we have low stomach acid, things can happen. We can get H. pylori because bugs can get in the stomach. We're not absorbing our foods, and of course, lack of minerals with that as well. And things can happen when our stomach acid is low. And the reason it's low is because of too many years of having high acidic foods.
Yeah.
So it kind of depleted the acid. So anyway, since doing those supplements, and again, I went to the med bed generators, and the pain was gone in an hour when I went there. So that kind of started the journey, and then the supplements kind of helped with that as well. So that was great. And I've helped a lot of people with that, and they've all said, wow, they couldn't believe it. And you're right. You have to watch your diet. You can't have popcorn and seeds. I remember, so here's the thing. If you have a flare, you shouldn't eat it all and just do bone broth until your body is healed, basically. Because otherwise it's food going in there and it's just going to get worse. So, thank you, Jean.
I actually experienced, something similar with food allergies.
Oh,
if I was inflamed, I'd have to take like a week of just eating very light.
Yeah.
like soups, maybe a yogurt, maybe an egg, like just very light, like nothing hard to digest, just to kind of get that inflammation down, just to get, when I didn't know what was going on with me at the time. So that's what I was like, just, okay, I got to just eat light right now and get this inflammation down. You know what I mean? So
yeah, listening to your body, your body's like, oh no, I cannot deal with food right this moment.
No, nothing was going down. Yep.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I'm sorry you had to go through that too, the
Yeah.
sensitivities. I know there's a lot of foods that people are sensitive to and they don't realize it, that causes like gut issues.
Yeah.
So definitely have to be careful on what we're eating, for sure.
But yeah, I commend you again, like for being able to heal diverticulitis. That is a really tough one to get better. And the other thing that can contribute to it, we'll just say, is not enough fiber in the diet.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because things when you get constipated, it's harder to get food through, and then you're straining, and that's definitely
pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Pocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what can contribute to it. So, you hear all the time, you got to get enough fiber, you got to get enough fiber. That's one reason. Another reason is if you're not eliminating with the fiber, that contributes to more illness, like cancer, like diverticulitis or gut issues or whatever, because it all backs up. So
absolutely. And it's so important because as we age, we need more to get our bowels going. Our system's not working as it was once when we were younger. So we do need to pay attention to our diets and try to get enough, fiber every day to boost that so that we can, because we don't want to have things that are just sitting in the colon and have polyps arise. So we got to definitely be careful.
Yeah,
for sure.
So what medications do not work for chronic conditions?
So, I mean, there's a bunch of things that are out on the market that we're told to take. And that is like the first line of defense to say, okay, you got to take this medication. So what I want people to do is research the disease and question everything. Question the doctor, how long do I have to be on this for? Is it for life? Is it for 30 years? And what's going to happen to the body in 30 years when you're taking it? For me, I was taking high blood pressure medicine. That was another thing I had, was high blood pressure. And I was told it was genetic. And so, which is not true. The biggest reason of high blood pressure is lack of magnesium, calcium in the blood. So I feel like that we are told, to medicate, but that's only suppressing our symptoms. So not getting to the root of the problem. And so when we are being medicated, we're not solving anything, and we're always going to be sick, and we're always going to be on medicine. So I just want people to realize that there's a choice to be made, that we can do alternative things like holistic field that work, with diet changes, supplements. Of course, I'm into a lot of stuff, which I'll share, but different things, different solutions, or different things can cause the solution rather than just being medicated for symptoms. So a lot of drugs that I think that are just in my opinion, that's what I've been through. Like methotrexate, that's your immune system's already compromised, and now you're taking an immunocompromised drug, which is slowing down your immune system. And to me,
Mhm.
why would you want to slow down your immune system? And the theory is so that it slows down the disease, and I disagree with that. I think that we need to boost the immune system
Right.
and do more natural things to put in the body to help overcome illness rather than just keep having it. So I see that there's a lot of things on the market that is truly making people worse because that's causing other things to happen, like inflammation, um, and autoimmune and cancer. And we see over time a lot of drugs are pulled off the shelf because they're causing other things.
Right.
And so I just want people to research everything with their disease to see another approach that it's not really talked about.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I was going with that is just to know that there's other things out there if you want to get to the root of the problem rather than being medicated.
And I'll give you an example of that with allergies. I had seasonal allergies as well. As I
Okay.
didn't have growing up, I had seasonal allergies. I didn't get the food allergies till I was in my early 20s, and I didn't even know I had it. But the seasonal allergies I found out later just by drinking enough water or a lot of water and vitamin C, which boosts the immune system. My allergies got so much better. I used to have to like lock the doors, shut the windows, couldn't go outside on a beautiful day. Like a day like today, it is, well, we're in October now. Usually around September, whatever's out, I forget, ragweed or goldenrod, one of those two. That's a real trigger for people with allergies. I couldn't go outside. Now I'm good. I might sniffle and sneeze a little bit, but no, as long as you're getting your vitamin C, it's boosting your immune system. No doctor's going to tell you that. And, this is my experience. I will say that again. I'm not going to say it's going to cure you, but I will say it really helped me. And I'd have to try a different over-the-counter drug every year because I'd get immune to it. So one year I'd be taking, I forget, lot of something or other. I can't even name it. Allerest, whatever.
Oh
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
used to it, and then the next
Yeah.
year I couldn't take it. It wasn't doing anything for me. So
I
finally
hear you on
found
that.
out drinking water and getting vitamin C was helping me.
Mm-hmm.
Water was huge. That was a huge help. Was just drinking water. If I was stuffed up, drinking water would just flush everything out. So
Yeah.
it was, for me, it was almost like a miracle cure.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome that the
Yeah.
vitamin C helped you and drinking
Yeah.
a lot of water. I mean, that's just kind of like so easy.
Right.
And that's not being told.
Yep.
I
And told.
studied vitamin C, actually. I studied it a few years ago. Dr. Andrew Saul, he swears by it. Instead of giving Tylenol and ibuprofen to his children, he was giving lots of vitamin C.
Right.
And they were overcoming a lot of things. So
Yep.
I definitely understand for
Yeah.
sure. That's really good
Yep.
that it helped
But
you.
like I said, everybody's different. It might help you, might not. Can't say it's going to cure you, but it
Right.
can't hurt. It can definitely not
Exactly.
hurt. Yep.
Yeah.
So what you talked about some of the products that have helped you. So let's talk about some others. Let's see how much time we have. We have plenty of time. You guys, if anybody's on watching, if you have any questions, this would be a good time to start popping some questions in the chat. I don't know if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube or wherever you're chiming in from, but feel free to start popping some questions in. And we'll watch for those and answer them for you. So start telling us some of the products that helped you, your experience with these products.
Okay. So, it's the biggest thing that I tell people that I'm about, besides diet, of course, because that's number one,
Yep.
is the biggest product that I have is Carbon 60. which I have right here. It's strips. So it goes under the tongue, it melts under the tongue into the bloodstream, and it acts quickly. One strip is worth 750,000 antioxidants.
That's
And
amazing.
you were talking about vitamin C. Well, one strip is equal to 300 vitamin Cs.
Wow.
So carbon 60 blows me away, because back when I was having rheumatoid flares, it would take a couple weeks to recover. With carbon 60, it took an hour. That was the difference, and I was like blown away. It's helped me many times with viruses, flares, boosting the immune system. It helps get toxins out of the body, metals out of the brain. There's many reasons why people take it. I tell everyone about it, and I get so many testimonies. One person said their sciatica pain was 95% better. I had a sore throat one time. It was gone in a couple minutes when I took, a couple strips.
Yeah.
There's no toxic amount. So they tried to kill rats with it, and they live 9 years longer without tumors. So this is a very good thing for the body, and it's all natural. There is no fillers or anything. So that's my number one. So definitely people need to check into that on my website, Who Got Us 50. Second thing would be, and that I've been taking carbon 60 probably for at least 3 to 4 years. The next thing would be Tesla Biohealing, which is the biohealers and the med bed generators. And here's the can I have. I know you can't see it, but it's life force energy in a can, basically. And it is amazing because it's helping our body recharge and renew our cells and boost our immune system, and helps lower inflammation. Carbon 60 also helps lower inflammation. And these cans I got one time when I was sick, few years ago, and I was actually out of carbon 60 at the time. I was sick for a couple weeks, and I got this Tesla Biohealer at the end of me being sick. My pulse ox was 90%. I was congested. I had a cough, and I had no voice. I spent one night with this Tesla Biohealer. The next day, my voice was back, congestion out of my lungs, and my pulse ox was 98%. And I thought, wow, how did that happen? I was blown away. So I've been hooked ever since, and that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
I started with the company as affiliate, then went to reseller, and now I'm a contractor.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I've climbed up this company. That and Carbon 60 are my top two. Because I'm so passionate for what I believe in, and these things are phenomenal. And so anyway, I talk about it a lot on social media about these Tesla products, because they're helping so many people with chronic conditions. And so I'm helping people today with starting up med bed centers, healing centers throughout the country. And one of my friends just is opening tomorrow in Winchester, Virginia, Kathy, a med bed center there, which is my hometown. So I'm super excited. It's like a dream come true. I get very emotional thinking about it, because this is a big dream of mine. So I'm so happy that this is happening. And I'll be there tomorrow for the ribbon ceremony on opening it up. And I'll be promoting her. So anyway, that's in Winchester, Virginia. And people can book on Tesla Biohealing for these med bed sessions. They go in for an hour or the day, or spend the night, and see what their body can do with being around the technology, which is phenomenal.
So tell us a little bit about that. So after they have a session with that, like, are they going to feel better? How long will they feel better?
So usually when you are exposed to this technology, like med bed generators, by the way, one can is equal to 100 of these small cans, and she's got 18 of them. So it's a big extreme amount of energy going into the body. Same concept of grounding, but this is way more intense. So it's kind of giving your body a charge. And usually if you're spending the night, it lasts for about a month in your body.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, for an hour, I'm not really sure. It's probably, of course, less than that, but you can tell. So when you're done, you just feel very relaxed, and the next day you feel very energized.
Hmm.
Um, so it feels surreal, like it's like you're walking on clouds. It just feels so good.
Hmm.
And when you're around it, it's so intense that you just want to go to sleep. And I encourage people to go to sleep because that's when your body is the most in self repair. So it's that's what you want to do. And I've gone like 8 times now, and I keep going back. Eventually, I will have these generators in my house because
Yeah.
I love them. But I do have the biohealers with me. I have 2 of them. It's good for sleep. So sleep is most important, and it helps with pain, sleep, inflammation, energy, immune system, and circulation. So
So the
big.
can you have for your personal home,
Yeah.
what does it cost for that for people listening? What do they cost for something like that?
So they're a little pricey. They're $599 for 1 can, but I give promotions. So, my latest promotion is, and then I give a discount off that too, 6 or 8 or 10%, depending on what's happening.
Hmm.
Right now, I've been given a month free of carbon 60 when they purchase a can.
Okay.
Um, and the cans last 3 to 5 years, whether it's a biohealer or a med bed generator. And the med bed generators are helping people with severe conditions, and the biohealers are helping people with mild to moderate conditions. So I assess people on the phone to try to figure out what they need. Some people need
Right.
1 can, some people need 4 cans, depending on what is happening. And everyone responds differently. Of course, we can't say it cures anything.
No,
It's
right.
just helping the body with, repairing with damage that's been done, especially from EMFs and inflammation.
Yeah.
So it's when I started 3 years ago, they only had 3 locations, and now they have 16.
Oh wow.
Um, so I'm helping people, people that want to start a business. I'm helping that partnership happen. So people call me all the time. I want to start one here, and I want to start one there. And my girlfriend Kathy has other services with it, which was I would do if I had a center. So
Yeah.
when you come, you can do the infrared sauna, the red light therapy, the med bed, session, and this is going to be extremely big in a few years. It's going to be everywhere. This technology in
Yeah.
businesses and
I could
offices.
definitely see it here. I'm in Lake Norman, North Carolina.
Yeah,
I could definitely see something like that here because the Western medicine is growing here tremendously. So it's holistic. It's going hand in hand. Yeah.
wow, they're battling each other, huh?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a center in North Carolina.
Mhm.
So come on, Paula, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure
We need
there's
it.
plenty of buildings and stuff, from COVID, there's a lot of empty buildings and stuff. So I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're putting this technology in hair salons and hotels and office buildings, gyms, spas,
Hmm.
chiropractors, acupuncture, yoga studios. I mean, sky's the limit with the technology of where you want to put it. Um, Someday it's going to be everywhere, and
Yeah.
people love it. They're going to love it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So I want to get past to my 5. So tops are carbon 60, the Tesla biohealing diet, and then after that, I would say the SCAC tea, which
Hmm.
helps with their 8 powerful herbs. It's been around 100 years. Renee Case was the Canadian nurse that helped develop this. And this is good for getting rid of parasites and taking out acid from the blood, purifying the blood, and cleansing all the organs. So this is a really good thing, I think, for people with helping with detox.
Mm.
Um, and you drink 3 ounces 3 times a day. And people with cancer drink 6 ounces 3 times a day. And there's testimonies everywhere about, and it's all over TikTok too, but of this tea, they take it for 6 months and their cancer's gone. And of course, we make no medical claims, but that's what's happening. That's
Wow.
what's happening. So I do think that the parasite thing, the cleanses, are such a big deal for people since so many people have them and not realize it. So
No.
that's why I think the tea is good, and I'll do it forever, just like Carbon 60. So that's I guess my fourth, and then my fifth is the longevity supplements that I just got into. I kind of came across Dr. Peter Glidden on TikTok, and then I reached out to him, and he responded back, and then we did a couple interviews together. And now I am a member on his website, and I'm learning a lot about naturopathic medicine
Mhm.
from him and all his knowledge. And now I've connected with Brenda, his other half, on supplements.
Yeah.
So I'm taking them, and it's the foundation pack is what it's called, and it's got four big products into nutrients for the body that we're all lacking. So it's your minerals, your vitamins, your essential fatty acids, amino acids, and probiotics. And it's all tied into four things, and it's three of them are liquid. And I've always thought liquid is the best to absorb
Mm.
rather than capsules. So it's high in bioavailability, so which is really good for us. And I see a lot of testimonies. There's thousands of customers and distributors and testimonies on these products that are really helping people because we've all been nutrient deficient our whole life because of our soil, that's been depleted. So I really think this is really important for people.
Yeah.
Myself, yeah, I've been nutrient deficient my whole life, and if you would have asked me months ago, hey, do you take a multivitamin? I would have said, no, I don't believe in them, because I didn't. And
Mm.
then I talked to him, because a lot of them are junk. They don't have what we need, and there's a lot of fillers, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So when I talked to him about all of this, it changed my mind. And because this is a high quality supplements, these are different, and they've
Yeah.
been around 30 years, and it's by Dr. Wallach. And so he created this company, and then Dr. Glidden takes them and recommends them. So that's kind of how I got involved with longevity supplements, which is also on my website, that I help people every day, talking to them to see because here's what's neat. If you become a member of his website, which you can do from my website, you can see his stuff for 24 hours for free, like
Yeah.
all his knowledge that he's put up there. And then he will show you his protocols for supplements for medical conditions, how he would do it from recovering from an illness. And so those supplements are longevity. So
Mm.
then you jump on there and do things that way versus going into a doctor's office and paying 300 to 500 for a visit. This
Yeah.
is pretty simple, paying 24 a month to be a member of Dr. Glidden's and learning a ton of information. So that's
Right.
kind of what I'm doing and what I promote, because there's so much to know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, definitely is. Yeah.
yeah. So I've learned a lot, like in the past couple months with these supplements, and
Mm.
I really do see good things with it, and the intuition is saying yes, yes, yes. Because I prayed for a supplement company a long time ago,
Yeah.
and I just didn't want to take anything that I didn't
Right.
see was good.
Yeah.
And so I really do think this is a really good thing. So I'm excited to help people with those as well. And then before all of this top five, just want to say real quick, I was into Shanghai, which I still am, Shilajit, um, plasma water, just things that I have found along my way.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff, I could talk forever about all this stuff, but
Yeah.
I picked the top five that I thought was important.
Yeah. Well, you
So
definitely have a wealth of knowledge. Our
thank you.
dear, I don't know if she's still on, but she was asking about the carbon 60. I think she might have just jumped in when, like, maybe at the tail end of it. So could you explain this carbon 60 again?
Yeah, and who was that? Was it somebody or
Star Daniels.
okay. I was wondering if it was from you know, TikTok or Facebook. So sure. What's that?
They're on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So carbon 60 is an antioxidant, and it's very natural. Three scientists developed this in the 80s. And and it comes from Shanghai, a 2 billion year old fossil. There is no additives or chemicals. It's all completely natural supplement. Nothing else is in it. It is safe for adults, kids, and pets. I've been taking it for 3 or 4 years. I've noticed a dramatic improvement in my immune system, my autoimmune diseases. I don't get what everybody else gets, all the viruses out there. Um, this is really a good thing with helping to get toxins out of the body, metals out of the brain, and help us bounce back quicker and give us energy. That's another thing. The energy is so good. Instead of drinking coffee, which I had to give up because of the acid and the mold, I do Ticino. That's another thing I have for in case instead of coffee, it's like an herbal tea, tastes like it and helps heal the gut. And then I do carbon 60 every morning. So that is my energy source. That's kind of like my caffeine. And so it's really powerful. And it affects everyone differently, that people that take it. And I was on a girls trip last Christmas time, and I was with my friends, and they were like, "Where's the carbon 60?" Because we were going to be out in public. So it's definitely a good thing to take with you when you're traveling and just everyday use as well.
Wow.
And you can take several doses too.
Yeah.
There's, like I said, there's no toxic amount.
Yeah, I've never heard of it except through you. It's pretty sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You'll have to send me a sample.
Yeah, I would definitely will. I will. Yeah, I'll send you some. Yeah,
Star is my friend Judy. She just put her name up. So Star, Judy suffered a stroke. So that's who Star Daniels is. She suffered from a stroke, and she's been recovering ever since. So with the stroke, she has some of these supplements would probably be really helpful for her. She has a lot of like numbness and stuff down the right side, and she gets pain from that, like neuropathy, the rheumatoid arthritis pain, all of that.
Yeah, I would definitely say several things, and I would say the essential fatty acids would be like at the top of the list, so that she can get those good fats back into the bloodstream and help her brain, and her heart actually. So the 90 essential nutrients that I talk about, the foundation pack, that would help her with additional essential fatty acids. For someone with a stroke, and also the Tesla biohealers and med bed generators and carbon 60, I think would all benefit her a lot. And if she wants to talk to me, she can just send me a message through my website. This is what I do. I'm a health coach, so I just boom 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 when I hear things. I know exactly, because I talk to some
I'm kind of tearing up because I feel like there's something that just hit my spirit. I feel like you were meant to help Judy. Judy needs these supplements plus you.
Oh,
of the
don't
gut.
make me cry now, Paula.
I'm telling this Judy. Oh, I wish she could come on. She has she's been through a lot, and she does a lot. We're actually doing an anthology together. I have my book back there. I did another anthology. We're all doing there's going to be 5 of us, I think. 5 loaves, 2 fishes. We're going by that scripture. So she's stroke, but she's written books, and she's gone on stage. She's known for Activate Your Faith. So she's just amazing. She wants to know what you said about the gut.
What about the gut?
Yeah.
And yes, I will help her. So please tell her to contact me, okay? And by the way, we have stroke studies go on all the time at Tesla Biohealing in Butler, PA, and we're seeing miraculous recoveries from these studies. So she may qualify to enter this study there. So that's another thing I would like to talk to her about, to get her on board for this study. Because there's so many good things happening there with people from strokes and even dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's, even long haul COVID as well. So I definitely need to talk to her about that. So the gut, is our second immune system, and we that's the first thing that is hit for us to get disease. So if our gut health is off, then we're going to get sick, mental or physical. So we have to keep in mind that we have to stay away from bad inflammatory foods, and we have to start taking care of it, heal it. And to do that for me is probiotics, which is in these supplements also, and the aloe vera juice, the papaya tablets, grapefruit seed extract. I always think of apple cider vinegar shots a couple times a week. There's different things that we can raise the stomach acid and also heal the leaky gut, bring back in good bacteria, get rid of the bad bacteria, and watch our diet. You know,
Yeah.
we can't eat all that crap, all the junk food that's out there, because it's just going to make us sick. I took a probiotic class as a nurse years ago, and I just remember something stuck with me in that class, and that was what you eat 20 years ago affects your health today. So that is so true.
Yeah.
So definitely gut health is so important. Very important.
Oh, absolutely. And we also have another person asking a question. We have Miranda Randolph. Welcome. She says, what is the best product for babies 1 year old? And also, can babies take the carbon 60?
Wow. So as far as a 1-year-old for carbon 60, I would have to definitely ask the owner of carbon 60 and make sure that's okay. Because I mean, we've done, you know, children, we can do half doses, and same with pets, half doses. I would make sure first by her if maybe a half dose or maybe even a quarter dose for a baby. I mean, I really think babies do not need carbon 60 unless they're really sick. I think they have a great immune system when they're little, but if they're sick, then that's a different story. And that would be something I would have to talk to Martha, which is in charge of carbon 60.
Okay.
I don't deal with a lot of babies for supplements, so I would really have to research that to be able to give like an honest answer. I normally deal with people that are older, probably say 20s to 80s. And
Yeah.
so I don't really deal with, you know, young babies and kids. So I would definitely have to research it, and she can contact me through my website and I can look into that for her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Judy just reminded me, I forget, because she not only has she gone through all this stuff with stroke, but in the meantime, she also became a wellness coach. So
Oh,
she's
wow.
she went to school and learned how to, teach people the nutrition aspect. So not only do I think you'll be helping her with what she needs for herself, but I have a feeling like some of these products, she's going to be able to help other people with her as well, just because
Absolutely.
she
Yeah.
needs to have that niche, those types of people. Some people with autoimmune have had strokes. With her, it was a lot of stress. She too was a dispatcher for a police department and went through a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, I look forward to you talking to her. I think you and Judy will definitely be a big help. Probably the three of us. Who knows?
I will definitely help her. And I mean, just wow, we can recover from almost anything. We
Yeah.
just have to have faith in ourselves and God. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And believe that the body can do its own thing and self repair if we're given the right knowledge
Yeah.
to do that, to get on the right path. And that's what I try to inspire people like on TikTok to go for it, to change your life, lifestyle changes,
Yeah.
and to see that what your body can really do. And it gets exciting because I have so many testimonials from people that what I've ever recommended for them. And to me, that's super exciting because I get so happy if I've helped someone in some way. And I see it a lot. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, Carbon 60 did this, and the Tesla Biohealer did this. And I went to the med bed generators, and, now starting these supplements and the SEACT. And my one friend told me after she started taking the tea, she said, I have incredibly energy in my system the next day. And I was like, wow. So you never know how people are going to respond to anything that I do. Everyone responds differently.
So this has been awesome. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. So real quick, tell people how they can find you, how to follow you on all your platforms. And we'll get
Okay.
with you too.
Okay. So you can go to foodgoddess50.com and you can see everything I'm into under products. And don't forget to go under my blog on my website as well under other, so that you can see, because every time I have something new, I blog about it so you can read all about it. So that's a good thing. You can call me. My number's on my website. If you want to book an appointment with me as a health coach for 30 minutes. And I do that. And you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Food Goddess 50. And I go live every morning on TikTok. So find me under Food Goddess 50. The following's getting bigger and bigger. So people love my lives because I'm real. I'm not kind of like trying to sell stuff. I'm just talking about my story and things
Right.
that work. And so we put God and health first.
Yeah.
And, we spend our money in wellness, not sickness. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I feel. So I'm definitely real on lives, and I love what I do, and I love to help people.
Well, thank you for coming on tonight, Angie. I'm looking forward to us helping one another to help other people. Miranda says, no, he isn't sick. Judy want health to stay positive. I'm not sure what that means, but Miranda was the one talking about the baby.
Okay.
Isn't
Okay.
sick. Judy want health to stay positive. I don't know what that means, but positive, I don't know. Your healthy, stay positive. I don't know. But
Yeah, well,
anyway,
negativity can affect our body. So she's probably saying being positive helps with healing,
right,
which it does.
right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much for being on. If anybody wants to reach Angie, reach out to Angie. If you want to reach out to me, you can get me on Facebook, Instagram, message me. You can message my, I didn't put my banner up. I apologize for that, but you can message me. You can go to the website, enrichyourhealth.com, enrichurhealth.com. I've got digital ebooks, recipe books there. If you happen to go to the store and it's empty, don't panic. Go to the second one. I have to remove that. I don't want anybody to think there's nothing there. There's free ebook there, reversing illness, and last but not least, if you have clients or patients that need recipes, I'm your girl because I make them simple for people. And I was very overwhelmed with trying to get recipes. So I can help you.
I'll be first in line to get your recipes and have them on my
Thanks.
website. I've been telling everybody about them, and you're amazing. So thank you so much for everything.
Well, thank you. And thank you, everybody. And if you want to be on the show, if you know anybody who wants to be on the show, please reach out to me. We are booking for October. So reach out to me. People need your story. Don't be afraid to be on camera. All right, everybody. We will see you next Sunday. Thank you. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
And thank you, Miranda, and anyone else and the replayers.
Thank you.
Have a good week.